Okay, hello, Daniel and Daniel.
Hello.
Hello.
I don't sound like that.
No, that's true. That's true. No, sorry guys, it's just me. Sorry.
Hey, how are you guys?
We're pretty good actually.
Yeah, really good.
We just had some candy, some cookies. We're actually at Airlift. It's a special event in Amsterdam. Amsterdam is always good, and we're seeing a lot of really cool NDA content, so we can't say anything about it, but come to Ignite, watch this space. There are gonna be so many cool things coming.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So you two together in Amsterdam. Oh God.
That can be good.
No.
Well, it's rather really good or really bad. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, there's a bunch of the gang here as well, and yeah. Well, so far it hasn't really spin out of control, but we're still here for a few days, so that's definitely gonna be funny. Yeah.
Cool.
And we're also joined by one of the leading people. I don't know if she wants to be on YouTube.
Yeah, you want to be on YouTube? Come on.
She's just gonna say hello.
Just say hello.
Oh, hi, sorry.
Look who that is.
Hey,
Hey,
how's it going?
Hey, I'm great. I have my hammer. I'm always good with that.
Yeah. You should be here.
Yeah. So how is the conference?
It's amazing. It's so fun.
How many attendees are there about?
There's about 130, 140.
Okay, cool. Nice.
Yeah.
So focusing all on Teams.
What's that?
Yeah, so the content focus is fully on Teams.
The 100% teams. We have 3 sessions going on at any given time. So there's 16 sessions a day.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Lots of great content.
Yeah.
So Marijn, Daniel, you guys are speaking as well, or just consuming?
No.
I'm speaking.
Oh, you are. That's true. About
Daniel
Flow, yeah.
is the only MVP that is speaking. He's very special. He's going to be talking about Flow.
I'm very special, right?
He's very special.
Because we couldn't get John Levesque to come, so it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we had John on one of our previous episodes. So this is a series called Blame the End User, where we try to blame the end user for everything.
Yeah.
So and now we have Daniel here to talk about Flow.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
We actually wanted to talk a little bit about Flow adoption, so what it means to adopt Flow. Yeah.
But I guess that in one of our future episodes, we really need to get Laurie on.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now she can't say no because
YouTube, right?
So I understand Laurie already agreed to come to Helsinki next.
No, I think I offered to. I asked you where you needed people, and I was like, "Oh, it sounds great." And you said, "Okay, you'll be here next year."
I heard that difference.
Oh my gosh, I would love to.
Yeah, sure. No, let's see what
Let's
we
see.
can.
Yes.
Yeah, let's see what we can do.
Okay.
Awesome.
See you.
Okay,
Oh,
great.
have fun.
Thanks for
Okay.
showing by, Laurie. Cool.
Thanks for coming to the store.
Yeah. So Flow adoption.
Let's go with the flow. So, yeah, Daniel, you are the kind of one of the heroes when it comes to flow, next to Ahmad and John and Serge. And
Wow, that is such a name dropping
Yeah.
thing, and wow.
Do you want free stuff or what?
He has
Well,
stickers. We're already in
Stickers.
Helsinki.
our sticker is coming. Our sticker is coming at some point.
Yeah. True.
So when it comes to flow adoption, Daniel, what type of experience can you share? I mean, when you talk to your customers or end users and so on. So what do you say to them?
I'm so happy that you ask him and not me because well, I know what my experience with Flow is. So yeah. Anyway,
we'll come back to that.
we'll come back to that. Yes. Yeah.
No, you have a couple of type of users actually. You have like the people who use personally, so they want personal productivity, and there's also people who are in IT, for instance, and want to create the big processes.
Yeah.
And
do you feel it's ready for big process?
I have done some big processes already, and I think it's ready for big processes, but it really depends on the scenario.
Mm-hmm.
So there's still
typical consultant answer.
It depends. Yeah, that's the whole thing. No, but
no,
there's
yeah,
like yeah, there's still of course logic apps as well, and logic apps has its use as well. So sometimes I go for logic apps for instance, and sometimes I go for flow.
And when would that be? Just like gut feel, or
no, it's
no. I seriously have no idea. I've never played with logic apps before. So.
Okay, so there's multiple differences between flow and logic apps. One of them is of course that logic apps, you can create them in the Azure portal, and flow you can create through the flow website. If you're familiar with Azure, it's not a problem at all. But that's mostly developers and IT people that use that, of course.
So does it have templates as well?
Well, you can use those as well.
Okay, cool.
And there's also the possibility to actually provision them and do that through code. So what you can actually do is you can dynamically create a logic app and roll it out to Azure, to logic apps. So that's also a possibility.
And then you can just create connectors to whatever line of business things that you have.
Yeah. And there's also some differences. Connectors is one of them. So there's multiple connectors that are in logic apps that aren't in Flow, and vice versa. For instance, the approvals connector, which I use a lot actually. That's sorry?
What connector? Sorry.
The approvals connector.
Approvals. Okay.
Yeah, that's available in Flow, but not in logic apps. But there are also some others that are available in logic apps, but not in Flow. For instance, SAP is one of them.
Okay.
And yeah, there are some differences, and there's actually a really great, if we're name dropping, there's actually a really great training from John Levesque and Kent Weir.
Okay.
They actually talk about that as well. So
great.
Right. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Okay.
So when you look about the most favorite thing what you have in Flow or in logic apps, Daniel, what would it be?
Currently, it's actually approvals in Teams. Because
you're not just saying that because Laurie is still here in the background.
Absolutely. No, joking.
Teams rocks.
No, I'm actually really a big fan of approvals, and I see lots of customers that struggle with all the mail in their mailboxes. They are trying to get rid of more mail outside their mailboxes.
No, not a problem with me.
No, you get enough?
Or no, I just don't get any mail.
Yeah, okay. That's a different problem. But you can now actually create an approval and then send it to Teams as an adaptive card through the Flow bot. And it's actually a bot which is called Flow, and you can send approval adaptive cards through that bot, and that's really easy to get an approval from a manager, for instance.
Okay. That sounds so difficult. Is that difficult to set up?
No, it's actually really easy.
It's like a bot in Teams. Is that just easy to set up, or
it's already there?
Oh, it's already. So end users don't do anything.
Let's say that it's difficult for Marijn.
Yes. Let's use that. So we've got power users, we've got normal end users, and then we've got Marijn. Okay, cool. Yeah, sure.
The personal productivity is there, and then
I have to say all the intelligence went away when I cut my hair, so I got that. Yeah.
Well, the Viking style. Vikings were maybe not the most known for their, I don't know, intelligence, or maybe they were
for their flow capabilities. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe they were. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, very, very interesting. So, what type of projects are you usually working on, Daniel?
I'm currently working on a really big project at a bank in the Netherlands, and we are actually creating some kind of governance model for Power Apps, Flow, and Power BI for the whole Power Platform for 40,000 users. So that's really interesting.
What would be typical governance questions?
Yeah, exactly.
So if I have a customer and they say, okay, you need to come in for a few days and we need to come up with some governance around that Power Platform, what would typical questions be?
One of them is, of course, the DLP, data loss prevention. Which connectors can you use together? That's one of them. There's one.
Yeah. So for example, can I use something that would get all my email and send it to somewhere else, or get all my attachments and store it on my personal Dropbox or whatever?
The horror scenario I always paint is like it's a lead from Dynamics so that your competition already knows that you just had a lead and everybody knows it, right? That's kind of a big scenario you never want to happen. But that's one of them.
Okay. So which connectors do I want to use together? Okay. Yeah. And can I also, for example, say like there are a number of people in my company that can't use Flow, or I want them to use it?
Well, you can actually block it, but I won't advise that, because that's gonna frustrate the end user a lot. Because the buttons are still there. You can maybe hide them from your SharePoint list, SharePoint libraries and stuff like that, but it's a lot of effort.
Okay, so it would be better to guide them and to train them, to coach them and to work with them. Yeah.
How about a bit of a kind of, governance in a way that, we have the citizen developer movement going on. People are building applications, and, how can you kind of figure out if someone screwed up something? For instance, they make a call, HTTP call somewhere outside, which is not secure. How would you kind of handle those type of things?
Well, you can actually use the Power Platform connectors, the admin connectors, so that you can see which Power Apps are there, which flows are there.
And so you can create a flow to see what flows you have. That's Flowception. Okay.
Flowception, really.
Flowception. But nice.
It's really handy, and it's one of the few connectors that is actually inside the Office 360 inside the Office 365 licensing. So that's also a big deal because they recently changed the pricing, the licensing, and it's one of the few that's actually for free for the Office 365 users.
Okay.
And you can easily create, for instance, a Power App that will show all your flows, all your Power Apps, also as an admin. If you are an admin, you have an overview of that.
Yeah.
And you can also, for instance, create galleries in your Power App that you have to see all the different Power App and flows and see which connectors are being used or which actions are being used. And that's really interesting.
Yeah, I know also our friends from Rancor are working on a product to kind of, and analyze the citizen developer, let's say, output. I've seen some early stage reports. It looks really cool. So this is definitely something for customers to think about, especially with the citizen developers, because normalos like me or normalos can go and start building applications, and maybe I don't have the full idea what's going on a technical wise like a developer or an IT pro has, because I'm a business guy, I just have this crazy idea, I want to do that and that and that, and I probably don't even know what I'm doing, and this can of course cause problems in technical wise, and to find a certain way to kind of govern that or to monitor what's going on, I think it will be more and more and more important in the future.
Yeah, and also reusability, for instance, because if you created a really awesome app that we could use as well, but we don't know that. That's also a big thing, right? So maybe you have created an app that would be interesting for the whole company, and how are you going to show that? That's also something that really fits well into the governance model, of course.
Maybe it runs very slow and you can optimize it.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. So you said that the licensing just changed recently. So what are the main changes?
Well, the biggest change for Office 365 users is actually that less connectors are in their licensing now. So they changed the premium connectors a lot. So there were a lot of free connectors, included in your Office 365 licensing. And now they have put a lot of those in licensing. And just Azure SQL, Azure Cosmos DB, all kinds of Azure services. Only the Office 365 part is actually still free. So then you're talking about Outlook 365, for instance, or SharePoint or OneDrive.
So the important stuff is still free.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing that your typical end user would be building, that will probably still be in the license. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Good.
Cool.
So that's the biggest one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and
Cool.
there's still lots of others, but I think you can probably get 3 more episodes of this show.
Yeah, but maybe one more last question. So if you have an end user or someone who wants to start working with Flow, what would you recommend to do?
Yeah, there's a link, and I'll share it with you later. It's aka.ms/flow-resources. And that's kind of the big link where every interesting MVP is listed, or all the people that are.
Am I on there?
No, you're not.
No.
Because you don't do Flow, right?
Oh yeah, okay.
Or you
I tried
Flow.
I tried to. I failed horribly, and you needed to help me out, but you couldn't get it working yet.
Are you still sorry, or that you used it?
Pros before Flow.
I have to say, I'm finding it difficult to use Flow. So for like some easy things that I think are super easy, I actually have a hard time making them run in the correct way.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Well, it's happened with most of the things. Some things you think they're obvious, they should be there, and they aren't, and then you need to go harass people. So just a few weeks ago, I got some help by Ahmad. Thank you again, Ahmad, to help out. So the great thing is in this beautiful community that we know the superheroes and can just ask them. I actually pinged you as well, Daniel, but you were then in a cab going somewhere. So Ahmad just replied back, and we had a short Teams call, and we went through it. So this is just really, really great. Yeah, but well, thanks a lot for your insights. It was super interesting to talk about this. So whenever we have something else coming up with Flow, or maybe we can do something more in depth about Logic apps in the future, happy to have you again on the show, Daniel.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Any last words?
Any famous last words?
Exactly.
Blame the end user. Blame Marijn. It should be the.
Blame
Marijn.
Why not?
Rename the show.
Anything cool planned for tonight? Some Jaeger bomb, some karaoke, some red light district.
Yes.
Together?
Yes.
Not necessarily in that order, but yes.
So,
No. There is actually tonight. There's but yeah, I can talk about it but it wouldn't make any sense because it's probably gonna air after the party tonight. But there's gonna be the first Office 365 adoption party meetup thingy. Will be here. So you know Caruana, and she's been doing a lot of stuff around user adoption with this champion calls, and actually the first real life meetup happening tonight.
Nice. Yeah. Say hi to everyone from me. Pity I cannot be there. Would be awesome. But next year or something like that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Guys, enjoy. Have a great evening, and thanks for being on the show, Daniel, once again.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.